Hello, this is our presentation for Russell Reynolds Associates case study by Andrew Harlan, Anna Minichello, Brady Burnett, Braden Gardner, and Colby Hunt. Some things we'll be going over today is the case background, the central issue identification, some resolutions for that issue, and some of the best ways that we think to resolve that issue, following up with a conclusion. This case examines challenges faced by Russell Reynolds in expanding its clientele into a more competitive market. It focuses on company initiatives to increase clientele and adapt to shifting customer demands. It highlights the significance of developing trusting connections with customers and provides an analysis of the methods used by the company to stay ahead of rivals. A little bit about the company background. They are one of the world's best executive search firms, founded over 50 years ago. They're known for locating and hiring top leaders for businesses in various sectors, and some of their offices are in significant cities worldwide. You can see here on the map. They've recently faced an increase in competition from other firms. Important individuals include senior partners, consultants, and the CEO, Clark Murphy, who is leading to push to expand the firm.
So the central issue was that the collaboration efforts did not increase due to the higher ups keeping the opportunities for themselves and their friends, and other people were still stuck at the bottom and not getting the opportunities that they should have gotten. And this is due to the compensation system, which is based on client acquisition. So you get the client, you get the money, and this led to the unequal distribution of the money and the opportunities. Um, and the successful employees are the ones who receive more opportunities, while the others receive little to no opportunity to prove their worth to the client, uh, and being stuck at the bottom. This upset those employees, and this raises the possibility of them possibly leaving the company and damaging the reputation of the company as well, and hurting the success overall. So the action plan would be to ensure that there would be equal opportunities for all employees, and not just the ones that know other people to get the opportunities that they want. And there needs to be a redistribution for the compensation system to promote collaboration, because that was the main issue overall, is that the collaboration was not what the company wanted. And they wanted to encourage the collaboration efforts, which would provide opportunities for all employees to show what they're capable of. And as well, the company should look into hiring specialized employees, which would meet the client's needs, because the ones that may have gotten the opportunities may not be as qualified as the other ones that did not get the opportunity, but they would never have found out due to the previous compensation system. And then by doing all this would overall improve the company culture with a fair and equal workplace. Thank you.
When it comes to finding a solution, they really did everything that they could in order to improve their company. First of all, they started to reevaluate their compensation and their performance management systems. They realized that there was a need to improve the most important selling feature, which is their compensation and performance management systems, and it opened the door for them to improve a lot more things in the long run. What they found when they did this was that one of their most important benchmarks in their processes wasn't being evaluated as fairly. The second thing they did was they formed different groups of their managing directors, and each group took on a different strategy to their jobs, and they called this their volunteer army. The goal of this was to help promote collaboration within the business, and streamline many different processes that they had. While going through this process, each group met with their team to discuss what was working and what wasn't. The end goal was to streamline each process so that they could combine some of the different processes and make everything run as efficiently as possible. Lastly, they had to determine what their findings were from the volunteer army. And for 3 days, the operating committee sat down and adjusted their credit allocations. Um, this was done to improve collaboration within the workforce and push people out of their way to drive for success.
In our case study for Russell Reynolds, we decided that the best solution to fix the employee incentive policy was going to be the volunteer army. So some of the other solutions that were brought up by the Russell Reynolds Association was first getting basically simply just sitting down, and they said that they wanted to reevaluate their system and how they did things. And we acknowledge that, yes, that's the issue. It doesn't really pose a solution to the issue. And so our group decided against solution number one and against solution number three, which was where some of its top associates would meet in Connecticut at the CEO's home and basically duke it out for 3 days and try and get it figured out. And we felt like a lot of potential red flags about the solution to those 3 days could be overlooked if it was kind of rushed in that way. And so the volunteer army we felt was the best solution because it took some of its future leaders, and over the next 4 months or so, they would split up into 4 more groups. And so you'd have 4 groups of 5, and they would simply suggest new ideas, and they would rebuttal each other and work out their differences in that way. And we also felt like this was a good way for the company to sustain a long future, because these are people that are going to be in this company for a long time to come. One of the issues was that it felt like a lot of the incentive was geared towards people that had been in the company for a long time, and like the top 20 or so employees. And so with future leaders leading the volunteer army, we felt as though it would be more geared towards the future of the company and less room for just selfish gain. And so that's the reason that we chose solution 2 for our best way to resolve the issue.
So overall, we've talked about the issues. We've talked about how they went about fixing everything at Russell Reynolds and Associates. So as we covered, the main issues are greedy management, unfair opportunities, and limited corporate ladder climb. So for example, if an individual is not only capable and not only qualified, but more capable than their other peers, they might not get an opportunity because of the connections within the company. If someone gets a job because they know an individual within the management, then they might get that opportunity no matter how qualified they may be. And as we talked about greedy management, the case study began, it talked about how management were unable to change a little bit because of they did not want to see their pay cuts. They didn't want to do anything of the sort. So they didn't want to change anything. And so recognition actions taken by RRA, assessment and refinement of processes. So for example, that one of the major things that they did to fix the company or to increase efficiency. And increased efficiency means that you can do more with less. That is a major deal in this type of corporation. At the end of the day, though, improvement is important, but no matter how efficient you become, you still might have issues. You might be careless because you're trying to change so many things over and over and over again. With increased change comes increased issues. So as I've mentioned, improvement may be important, but at the end of the day, carelessness could be detrimental. thank you for joining us. Hope you have a fantastic day. If you have any questions, please let us know.